Hello everyone, welcome to Threads of You, Beyond the Bay. My name is... Ooh! Oh, so this is my skin color. I am pale as a sheet ghost. Eye shape. Let's see. I don't know, I have basic almond eyes in real life, so these will work. In real life, my eye color is somewhere between these, I believe. I could just go with basic black. I guess this could do. Okay. And I'm satisfied with that one. As you cruise down a deserted road, a gentle breeze caresses your face through an open window. The occasional jolt of the car unsettles you. However, you quickly dismiss it from your mind. Well, I guess I finished my last year. You've been looking forward to this trip? You look down at your GPS, following the bright yellow line displayed on your screen. This wasn't a road you were completely familiar with, nor was it anywhere near the freeway. Though, stupidly, you were persuaded by a video on Wickwalk. I'm sorry, Wickwalk? Okay. Okay, Adrian, just keep driving, It's probably nothing. You sigh at yourself and turn your radio up louder, hoping to drown out your anxiety. I knew I should have just taken a plane. Ugh. This is the last time I'm listening to some random person on the internet. Just as you mentally shake your fist at the Wickwalk you watch, your thoughts are abruptly interrupted by the stuttering of your car's engine. Metallic clattering comes from the hood of your car, making your eyes widen in alarm. Well, before you could fully process what was happening, the car let out its final breath, stopping dead in the middle of nowhere. Okay, no biggie. I'm just lost in the middle of nowhere with no signal and no sign of life. After what felt like an eternity under the scorching summer sun, the familiar growl of a well-functioning car catches your attention from a distance. Breathing a sigh of relief, you stand up and begin to wave frantically to grab the driver's attention. The car slows down and parks nearby. The engine pauses momentarily as the driver's door swings open. A man emerges from the car, donning a deep green jacket and tousled brown hair.
Hey, is everything alright? Do you need help?
Hubba. I mean, I did not say that out loud. I'm not really sure what to do. Thank you for stopping by. My car broke down and I'm not really sure what to do from here. He dips his head towards you, taking a peek at your car. He steps forwards, examining your car and sighing lightly at the steam rising up from your vehicle. His hand motions to the broken heap of a car, meeting your eyes for a quick second. I'm afraid that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Might as well hop in with me and find shelter for the night. His hand taps the back of the car as he walks away, his hand gesturing for you to follow. You hesitate, as you only just met this man. He looks back at you for a moment, before a light chuckle escapes his lips. Don't worry, you can trust me. He reaches into his pocket, taking out a small golden medallion. Sheriff. A man in uniform. You give him a reassured smile as you make your way to his car. The ride has been silent so far, but you didn't mind. The smell of sea salt pours in from the open pane, the cool wind combing through your hair. Your eyes close as you take in your surroundings.
Enjoying the view?
I never know when he's gonna talk or when I have to read what he's saying. You open your eyes and turn to look at him. His hair was dancing along the breeze, coming from his open window, the lighter strands in his hair glistening under the sun. You sink deeper into the seat, getting yourself comfortable for the rest of the trip. So, it'd probably be nice to get to know your travel buddy for the next god knows how many hours. Might as well break the ice. If you don't mind me asking, where are we headed? My town. Brian Bay. Ever heard of it? You think to yourself for a moment, racking your memory for any mention of Brian Bay. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. He nods to himself as you speak. He lets go of the wheel for a brief moment to give you a pat on the shoulder before focusing on the drive again. How long have you been a sheriff? A good few years actually. Probably as soon as I graduated. Not that I mind, I love this job. I get to help people. Like you. End of the day, that's all that really matters to me. That's pretty nice. I guess so. I've never really seen myself doing anything else. I don't think I have anything else to ask him for now. A moment of silence lingers between the two of you before he abruptly breaks it. You weren't out there for too long, were you? These both sound pretty negative. Well, it felt like forever, but I guess it wasn't that bad. I'm just relieved you showed up when you did. He smiles and nods in response, his eyes glued on the outstretched road ahead.
Gene, by the way.
You turn to face him, head tilted in confusion. He takes notice of your lack of a response and turns to look at you.
My name, it's Gene.
Your mouth opens briefly, forming a silent. Oh, I'm Adrian. Adrian? That's a nice name. He shoots a gentle smile before adjusting his eyes back on the road. Turn back to the open window, taking in the view once more. The lull of the engine, paired with the heavy crashing of the ocean waves, began to take over your thoughts, making your eyelids grow heavier by the minute. Before you knew it, you were dead asleep. Your eyes struggled to blink open as the sun shyly peeked over the clouds. Its beams greeted you ever so lovingly, the warmth creating a gentle blanket over you. You lift yourself off of the car door, stretching the sleepiness away. Your eyes eventually find Gene, his hand having a firm grip on the wheel and head turned towards you. Morning there, sleepyhead. Your wake is in time. The car comes to a rolling stop in the makeshift parking lot. Gene's deep voice pulls you out of your thoughts. This right here is Coral Inn, a hostel. You can stay here for the night. And don't worry about the pay. I've covered tonight for you. It's the least I could do considering the day you've had. Is this my guardian angel? If you walk inside, just a little to your right, should be the front desk. Just explain your situation. My buddy Dante will get you all set up. Flirty or thankful? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. If he screams, let it go. Thank you so much for your help. I'd seriously be so screwed if you didn't show up. He gives you a warm smile. It's no problem at all. He's glad to lend a hand. You give him a smile back and gather your belongings from his backseat. Before I forget about your car, there's only one mechanic around here, and his name is Kai. Take him a number and I'll send you his address. You type his number into your contacts and give him your sincere thanks once again. The two of you wave goodbye as you shut the car door behind you. He pulls out of the parking lot, leaving you to brave the hostel on your own. You stand open for a moment, breathing in deeply. I grew up in a small town in real life, so sure. Yep, just like home. Sure, it wasn't exactly where you wanted to go, but it was close enough. The fresh and clean air was reminiscent of your childhood town, which was drastically different from the city you've been staying in for college. It was nice to be back in a quieter environment. A flock of birds chirp overhead, flying information towards the horizon. The sun's setting already. How long have we been driving? Your body was practically begging you to crash in for the day, although you really should be getting your car sorted out first. I mean, I'd be worried leaving my car just out there, so... You think it over for a minute, and decide it would be best to talk to Kai as soon as possible. I really should get this sorted out first. You lug your backpack, over your shoulders and check your phone for the address. Following the directions on the text from Jean, you make your way to the workshop to meet Kai. The large car-filled building seemed vacant except for a figure bent over, peering into the hood of a car. Kai? You call out in a response. The hum of the car was overpowering your voice. Kai! You call out a little louder. The figure finally stood up and turned to face you. A large grin was plastered on his face as he rubbed dirt and grease off with his forearm, hands still clasping a wrench.
Well, you must be new here.
Before you could open your mouth to reply, he quickly cuts you off with a broad grin. And trust me, I'd remember a face as attractive as yours. He winks a little and leans back against the car, grabbing a nearby cloth to clean his wrenched hands.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
His tone lingered, prompting you to introduce yourself. I'm Adrian. I was actually headed west until my car broke down near the forest. He lets out a short laugh and nodded before putting his wrench down. Well, that won't be much of a problem. I'll head there with Yin later in the day. Although I do have to warn you, it's gonna take a good while to fix it, especially if you're not from here. The spare parts here are pretty dated and so are our cars, so it might take a while. You just want me to stick around for longer, don't you? Your worry must have been visible because he pushed himself off the car immediately and defensively threw his hands up with open palms. No, don't worry. You can trust me. My family's been working on cars since the town was founded. He pats your shoulder lightly and gives you a warm smile. You can give me your number and I'll keep you updated on things. Smooth operator. If you wanted my number, you could have just said so. He blinks a few times and turns bright red. Well, I could tell you and I will get along just fine. Though appearing confident, there was a slight quiver in his voice. Cute. He grabs his phone out of his pocket and hands it over to you, the screen displaying a small prompt for your information. He's typing your number, spot him peeking over to the side. His deep brown eyes scan all over your face, almost as if he were studying you down to your smallest features. You feel your face flush for a moment before handing it back to him.
Great. I'll send you a message when I get around to working on it. Hope you have a good time here.
He gives you another wink before turning around to continue working on the car behind him. Alright, time to get myself some sleep. Your shoes crunch against gravel as you make your way towards the entrance. The steps of the inn's wooden Porsche creak with each step, making you hurriedly take longer strides. As you open the door, you're greeted with surprisingly homely decor. That rhymed. Recalling Jean's directions, you take a few steps towards the right. A small wooden counter comes into view. A few monitors lined up on it. The only one seemed functional. You notice a man sitting behind one of them. He didn't exactly look ecstatic to be there, but he also didn't look like he hated it. Hey there. I'm Adrian. I think Yin might have mentioned me to you. You hold your breath, hoping Jean wasn't lying about paying for the night. Dante looks you up and down for a moment with a puzzled look before looking down at his phone. Guess he did. He sighs to himself before standing up. You're stunned for a quick second as he towers over you. He turns to grab a couple of papers from the shelf of files and books behind him. Okay, Adrian. All you have to do is sign a few things and you should be good to go. You write down your information, occasionally glancing up towards him. He was back in his seat, tapping on the table with a pen and glaring right into your soul. Jeez, creepy. All done. He slides over a small metal key with slight rust on its edges. Your room should be number 69. Nice. Don't make too much noise and no hot water past 9 p.m. Even for small amounts like for tea. Okay. Good night then. He ignores you and goes back to scrolling on his phone. You eventually end up on the second floor, finding your room right by the stairs. Okay, Jean. Let's hope this room isn't that bad. Taking a sharp breath, you insert the key and turn, not expecting much of a view. Wow! 2 large windows greeted you, luminescent moonlight shining through and illuminating the dark room. Despite being summer, the well-conditioned room made a cool breeze wash over your body. Not bad, Jean. Not bad. Dropping the backpack and kicking off your shoes, you begin to set up the room to fit more of your liking. Plushies. Ooh, cute. Clock? Cat. Cloud. Fish. Beer. Cat. Cat always wins. On second thought, never mind, it's a bit weird to decorate a place I won't really be living in for long. You change out of your clothes before falling into the comfort of the bed. Your body melts into the mattress. You quietly thank Yin for being generous enough to rent your room. Thoughts about ways to repay him linger as you're soothed to sleep by the night's embrace. Sunday. As you step into the lobby, you're met with Dante's grouchy face. He sits behind the front desk with his legs up and a magazine in hand. Good morning, Dante. He gives you a quick glance before placing his attention back to the magazine. Good morning, Adrian. Did you get a good night's rest? Despite asking, you could tell it was more of an automated response for good customer service than genuine curiosity. What the is this? I'm not even gonna ask. Yeah, I did actually. Thank you for asking. I was wondering if there was anywhere nearby I might be able to get a bite. I'm pretty hungry. I haven't really had anything but trail mix. There's a diner not too far from here. Just walk down the road and you'll run into it, I'm sure. Where is the diner? As you scan your surroundings for the diner, you see a disheveled, red-haired man struggling with a heavy load of paint canisters in his arms. His grip falters every so often and the cans threaten to slip from his arms and crash to the ground. Running over, you brace yourself against the heavy wood frame door and shove it open with your back. The scent of old parchment and pine immediately hits your face as soon as you open the door. It's comforting, nostalgic almost. The man gives you a quick thanks and rushes in, disappearing behind a curtain at the back of the store. You feel the warmth of the sun fade as you move further inside. With your hand outstretched, you glide your fingers across the long rows of books, feeling their distinct textures and design. Looking up at one of the shelves, a familiar title catches your eye, and you make your way towards it. I haven't seen this series in forever. Wait, has there always been this many volumes? Trials of Tempest. You smile to yourself and reach up for the book, getting on your tiptoes and struggling to reach it. Your legs wobble a bit as your feet strain against the ground, a small ache going through your arms. But you don't give up, stubbornly reaching and stretching for the book like a small child, reaching for a cookie jar on a high shelf. Suddenly a shadow looms over you and you feel a large hand gently rest on your shoulder. The subtle pressure makes you lay your feet flat on the floor, grounding you and releasing the tension in your body from stretching. You watch as another hand gently grabs the book before you could. Turn around and see the man from earlier smiling softly at the book, brushing off any dust from its cover. A low chuckle escapes him and shifts his gaze towards you.
Trials of Tempest. I'm surprised anyone else knows about this book.
I used to love this series as a kid. What about you? He holds the book out to you, letting you take a hold of it. You take it, observing its cover. Yep, definitely haven't read this volume yet. Me too, but I've never seen this one before. This is a special copy, actually. I bet you thought it ended at Journey to the Storm God, right? You nodded. That was the last volume released before the author stated publicly that he was too old to continue the series. How about for helping me earlier? I'll lend you the books. You can take this one with you. Just come back for the next few volumes. Len, he takes notice of your confused expression and chuckles again. I work here. Don't worry, I might look rough, but trust me, I'm not a fan of breaking and entering. The story isn't that popular anyways. No one would notice if they weren't in stock. Plus, you knew, right? Don't mention we had a new face in town. He takes notice of the pamphlet you had in hand.
Oh, were you looking for Cup of Joe Mama?
I'm sorry, what? What's that name? Yes, actually. Dante said it was just down the road, but I can't find it anywhere.
Down the road? It's literally on the other side of town. In fact, any further from here and you'd be at the beach.
Pause for a moment and mentally facepalm yourself. Dante never specified which direction to go, and you had ended up going the wrong way. Classic Dante. Man, he's an asshole. You can't help but laugh along. It was sort of comforting to hear that. It just meant Dante was rude to everyone and not just you. Truthfully, we're starting to feel like he had a personal vendetta against you. Are you friends with Dante? You seem to know him pretty well. Something like that. He knew my old boss, so I guess we're more acquaintances. He usually comes over for new magazines, or just books for the hostel lobby. I guess I should get going now. No longer my stomach might burst. Well, I'm gonna go to the diner before I miss out on breakfast. Thanks again for the book. No problem, Adrian. Adrian. No problem, Adrian.
Andrew, by the way. It's nice to meet you.
You give him a smile and wave goodbye as you leave the bookstore. Creative name, but why? You make a beeline to a booth, ringing the small steel bell on top of the table. You take a look around. The place is full of families of all sizes, though you can only see one waiter. He seems to have his full attention on the cash register. His head perks up from the registry. You watch as he grabs a small notebook, rushing over to you.
Hi, what can I get for you today?
Aw, he's a Pokemon fan. And a trans fan. And a Mario Galaxy fan. And I have no idea what the hell that bread slice with a mustache is. He's a bit quiet, but nonetheless you understood him perfectly. Is this a bad time to order? No, definitely not a bad time. The other waiters just doesn't leave. Summer, you know. It gives you a toothy grin and you can't help but smile back. Are you new here? I don't think I've seen you around before. Oh, yeah, I am. My car broke down, so I'll be here until that gets fixed. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, no problem. My good friend Kai can get it all sorted out for you, I'm sure. You continue explaining your situation to him, not holding back on the little details. His eyes are gorgeous, by the way. His eyes don't seem to leave yours, paying close attention to your words. A stark difference from Dante. It was pretty refreshing. Oh, that sounds like a lot. But hey, what's a trip with an empty stomach, right? As if on cue, your stomach emits a loud rumble which makes the both of you burst out laughing.
Well then, what would you like to eat? On the house. I know you're low on cash right now.
Are you sure? I don't mind using a few dollars. He shakes his head, his messy blonde waves bouncing as he does. Take it as a welcoming gift. You look down at the worn-out menu laid before you. Well, if you insist. I'll get. Ooh. My Swedish genes are telling me. Cinnamon rolls. Oh, I can have multiple things? And fruit salad. What happens if I order everything? You watch the man make his way towards the kitchen, where your eyes take notice of a help wanted poster messily plastered upon a notice board. It looks as if it had been up there for a while, as the corners are torn and stained with mysterious liquid. Dante's words echo through your mind as you're reminded of your lack of money. Right, a job. I'll ask the waiter about it when he comes back. A few moments pass before you see him approaching your booth, carefully holding your food and gracefully maneuvering through the tables nearby with a signature smile. Here you go. Hope you enjoy your meal. Just call out to me if there's anything else you'd like. He gives you a small nod and turns to leave. Wait, I saw that this place is hiring. Are positions still open or am I too late?
Yes.
They're still open. Oh man, I've been looking for some help for ages. I'm so happy that you're interested. His voice rises into a normal speaking volume as he lets his eagerness show. Who should I even talk to? Peek past his figure to see if you can spot a manager running around. His face filled your view as he moves his head to meet your searching eyes, his smile up unwavering. I think the person you're looking for is yours truly. Oh, no worries about the resume. You're hired. I would at least like to know your name, though. You raise an eyebrow at him. You're happy to be employed, but you question the practices of the diner under this man's management. You notice he's fidgeting with his uniform as the two of you speak. You wonder how he even survived this long line of work, being the quiet man he is. Right, my name. It's Adrian. Okay, Adrian. You can finish eating here and meet me in the back. I'll be happy to show you all you need to know. Without another word, he starts to walk away, before quickly turning his head to look at you again.
By the way, my name's Chris. It was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too, Chris. We need help as soon as we can possibly get it. This summer has been one of our busiest, so we'd love it if I could work with you right away. If that's okay with you, of course. His eyes wander away, and his voice trails off into a faint whisper towards the end of the sentence. Yeah, of course it's okay with me. I'd be glad to help you out. I can't leave you in your time of need. The familiar bell of the door rings and you quickly fix your eyes towards the entrance. Instead of a small family or elderly person like you've seen all day, a young man walks in. He looks probably in his early 30s. His sleek, long, blonde hair framed his face. His captivating eyes made it almost hard for you to look away. You feel like you've seen him somewhere, but you can't quite put your finger on it. All that to say, he didn't look the most approachable. He doesn't look like one of the townsfolk at all. Could he be another visitor? Turn to look at Chris, who seems to be as puzzled as you are. He shrugs at you and clutches a small notepad, making his way over to the man. You aren't sure if it's because he's tired or not, but Chris' usual upbeat manner for new customers looks diminished. Welcome to Capayo Mama. What can I get you for today? Since you've started working with Chris, you've noticed a pattern with him. At first, he'd stick with his usual script of asking someone what they wanted, but if the customer went off script and asked something he wasn't used to hearing, he'd falter.
Can I get the omelette? But with just the egg whites.
And lightly beaten, not whisked. Whisking makes my face bloat.
I've got a shoot next week. I can't be bloated now, can I? Use pink Himalayan salts if possible. I don't want any preservatives in my system. Oh, and hold on any extra spices. I'm a simple man. Just salt, pepper, a hint of tarragon, and a pinch of cumin will do. Also, don't cook it the American way, do it French. I prefer my food authentic. You are authentic, yes? The well-suited man nods his head towards the large window beside him. The words authentic homemade recipes plastered outside in large red font. Okay, we're screwed. Yes? Good. The man pulls out his wallet and pays for his food. Chris comes back with a small torn page, slowly pushing it over to you. Sorry, Adrian, I didn't get the most of that. You grab a bowl and confidently crack the first egg, successfully separating the yolk from the whites with ease. Oh my god, I'm basically Gordon Ramsay? Yeah, sure. Feeling optimistic, you move on to the second egg. However, this time the yolk breaks and drips into the egg whites. A little joke, wouldn't her? You probably won't even notice. He'll notice. You start mixing, aiming for a light and fluffy look. Despite your efforts, however, the whites refuse to cooperate. I should just whisk it at this point. Whatever, let's just cook this thing. You heat up a non-stick pan and pour the egg mixture into it. The consistency looking far from ideal. What did you want in it again? You only mentioned spices, right? Whatever regular salt and pepper never hurt anyone. Sprinkle some grated cheese and chopped vegetables onto the layer of egg whites, topping it all off with salt and pepper. As you attempt to fold it, it tears easily. You manage to patch it up as best as you can, but it's clear that this is not the Pinterest-worthy egg white omelette you had envisioned. As you plate the omelette and hand it to Chris, you can't help but feel a mix of disappointment and embarrassment. Hopefully it tastes better than it looks. What happened here? Chris tries to speak, but it cuts him off. No, actually, I know what happened. Your chef is terrible. Just look at his omelette. It's obvious they can't separate the yolks from the whites. It is most definitely whisked, not to mention that it's clear to anyone's eyes that it's under-seasoned. I'm deeply sorry, sir. It's actually their first day.
Did you even try to get my order right? I bet you wrote it down wrong, because there is no way a chef could mess such a simple order up.
I guess I'm just talented. I could sue you for this. Do you even know who I am? Shit, this could get messy. You swiftly exit the kitchen and rush over next to Chris, hoping to defuse the situation. Sir, this isn't his fault, it's mine. I was the one in the kitchen. I can try to make another one if you'd like. Properly this time.
Ugh.
He rolls his eyes and sits back down, pushing the plate back towards you and Chris. No need. The man leans back into the booth seat, still eyeing you with a playful smirk on his face. I'll most definitely be back another time, and you'll have a chance to redeem yourself. I promise that you won't be disappointed. Chris, trying to diffuse any remaining tension, chimes in. Yeah, you know how it is with new recipes, right? Sometimes it takes a bit of practice to get them just right. Well, no, I don't know how it is with new recipes. I have enough to deal with day to day, so I have a personal chef. Peasant. Oh. But I suppose you're right. I'm looking forward to their improved meal. Adrian? You were about to ask how I knew your name, but recalled your makeshift "Hi, my name is" sticker on your apron. Well, if you don't already know, everybody should know who I am. I'm Wyatt. Here's my business card. I'll get going now. My appetite is ruined, and I have important matters to tend to. Till next time, Adrian. Wyatt slides over his business card with a quick wink before getting back up and leaving the diner, making sure to nudge Chris on his way out. Pick up the card for information on the jerk. Wyatt Quinn, CEO of Microsoft. I'm sorry. CEO of Microsoft? Hey, Adrian. Chris' gentle voice take you out of your thoughts, and you turn to look at him. Are you okay? I'm sorry about all that. We don't usually have customers like him. He looks down to the floor and plays with his sleeves awkwardly. Well, besides that, our first shift is officially over. Here's your pay. He hands you a wad of cash from out of his pocket, his sad demeanor seemingly disappearing into thin air.
Hey.
Adrian, one sec, before you go. My number. You should take it so I can talk to you about shifts or anything. Alright. You want my wickwalk? You both exchange contact information and you leave the kitchen, waving goodbye to Chris as you leave. You look down at your phone as you exit, curious about the time. The number 1:30 p.m. is shown brightly on your screen. Following the general direction of other townsfolk, you get to see more of what the town has to offer. Jane wasn't wrong. It really was a beautiful place. You find yourself in the town square. A fresh breeze blows through your hair as you take in your surroundings. Adrian, didn't expect to see you here. Have you been setting in well? Yep, I'm actually exploring a little right now. I even managed to get a job at Capo Yo Mama. I love that place. Great coffee to start the day with. I'll definitely be seeing you around a lot more. Your eyes briefly flutter to the silver-haired man. Upon noticing your gaze, the man sharply turns away. Jean takes notice of your curiosity and takes a small step back, placing his hand on the stranger's lower back to lightly push him closer to you. He looked at Jean with his eyes wide, startled by the sudden contact. Jean placed his arm around the stranger's shoulder, tightening his grip slightly as he spoke. This here is good old Vince Matador. Don't mind his behavior. He isn't used to new people. It's nice to meet you, Vince. I'm Adrian. Vince says nothing in response, seemingly unwilling to introduce himself to you. Instead, he keeps his eyes downward with an occasional glance at Jean. Jean sighs deeply. Come on, Vince. We talked about this. Vince bites the bottom of his lip before looking up at you.
Hey. Jean told me about you. Quite the predicament you've gotten yourself into. With the car and all.
His voice is pretty quiet, sort of like Chris when he's nervous. Vince leans more to the mumbling side. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, but that's not to say good things haven't come from it. It's still a vacation, I guess, minus my new job, of course. Well, that's an optimistic way to look at it. I'm glad you're not too bummed out about it. Vince's attention shifts back to Jean, who offers a nod of agreement. Silence fills the air for a moment, before Jean clears his throat. Say, why don't you show Adrian around, Vince? It's about time I headed back anyway. I gotta get dinner started. Vince gives Jean a solemn look, his eyes practically begging for him not to leave. Alright, I'll leave you two to it then. See you around, Adrian. You wave goodbye as he turns his back to leave. Vince's face crunches up as he yells out for Jean.
Hold on now. I never said I would. Jean, get back here!
Jean ignores his pleas as he takes a final look back to wave goodbye before disappearing into the crowd of people. Vince's shoulders drop in defeat.
I guess I could try to show you around. Unless you've already got plans.
That's practically who I am when I'm not on my medication. If he wants to be more confident, he should work on it, so... Yeah, sure, why not? I don't have much else to do besides sleep anyway. This is a better use of my time. Vince seems almost disappointed when you say yes, his shoulders dropping as he exhales. Let's get on with it then. It's hard for you at first to get used to the uncomfortable silence between you and Vince, but you eventually don't mind it. Vince keeps his eyes glued to the ground, his hands fidgeting with the various bracelets on his arm. So, you speak gently, trying once again to break the ice. I really appreciate you for taking time out of your day to show me around. I know it must suck to be forced to hang out with a stranger, but it's really nice of you. Vince's shoulders visibly relax as your words seem to have a positive effect on him. No, it doesn't suck. I just didn't really get out much. I'm not even sure what to show you, really. Just show me your favorite places. Maybe it'll help me get to know you a bit. He leads you to places like his favorite record store and a cozy coffee shop. His genuine enthusiasm evident as he talks about them. As the both of you turn a corner, you suddenly hear the distant sound of music and applause. With your newfound curiosity getting the best of you, you follow the source and find yourself at a makeshift stage set up by what seems to be the town's local theatre group. Taking a glance at all the performers, it was hard not to be drawn to the guy with the bright green hair. Well, that hair is definitely bright green. Yeah, you don't see that every day. Guess you really want to stand out, huh? What's wrong? I'm just not a big fan of crowds. Me too, buddy, me too. Or him. You focus your attention back towards the stage, where the green-haired man was giving his final monologue. He happens to be one of the lead actors. His energy and charisma undeniable, his presence radiating through the crowd, mesmerizing everyone with each spoken word. Him? If by him you mean the walking highlighter, then yes, him. As the performance reaches its conclusion, the crowd ruptures into cheers. Your attention gets pulled back to the lead performer though. His eyes were already on you, his gaze direct and sparkling with intrigue. As the crowd slowly disperses, he boldly jumps off the stage and approaches you with a wide grin. You hear a small groan of protest come from Vince as he rolls his eyes.
Hey there! You new in town?
Well, he's gorgeous. Everybody here is gorgeous for some reason. Where is this town? I want to go there. The name's Kevin. Do people in this town just know everyone? This is like the millionth time I've been asked this. Yes, actually, I'm Adrian. How could you tell who's new? He snorts sheepishly.
I'm a regular performer here. Practically every week. I've seen the same faces countless times, but yours is definitely new.
He gives you a playful smirk, his eyes holding a glint of amusement. Before you could reply, the man's gaze falls on Vince, and his eyebrows rise, as if he just realized that he was there. His smirk only strengthened. Oh? The vampire finally left his house. Proud of you, Prey. I really thought some sunlight would make you dissolve or something. Vince only musters up an annoyed glare. Satisfied with his tease, the performer returns his attention to you. Anyways, how are you finding Brian Bay? I'm sure it's not much, but it's got a few redeemable charms. Well, I like it so far. It's quaint, a nice difference from the city. His eyes widen with surprise and he excitedly grabs your hands.
City? You're from the city? That's so cool!
Yeah, I grew up in a small town too, but I never, ever reacted that way when somebody told me they were from the city. He clears his throat as his cheeks flush a light red. Sorry, I just always wanted to go to the city. No worries, I understand. Well, so, what did you think about my performance? Is it anything like the actors from Paragon Arts? Paragon Arts is probably the most prominent theater company you could think of. It comes as no surprise that he aspires to be like them. Rudely say no! Well, to be honest, no, not really. I was just bored and to wind down with something. It wasn't that great, and definitely isn't on a Paragon actor's level, but it's still something. Clear your throat and quickly glance at Vince. He's turned away from you, his body shaking as he stifles a laugh. Thanks for being blunt, I think. Tilts his head, his brows furrowed in a slightly puzzled expression. The disappointment in his voice is clear. And here I thought I did good this time. He clears his throat loudly, an apparent reset on his confidence. A smile forces its way on his face. Well, I'd love to hear more of what you gotta say. You sound like a true critic. I could benefit from having one that does around. He begins rummaging through his bag, pulling out a small business card that looks similar to Wyatt's.
Feel free to reach out if you ever need a friend, or want to catch another show.
In which I hope you enjoy my next performance better. He turns his head to you and raises a hand to wave goodbye. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. With that, he disappears into the crowd. It's getting pretty late. We should get going. Vince nods and follows behind your lead. While walking home, you glance down at the small makeshift card in your hand. Kevin Zuniol. Recalling Wyatt's card, you retrieve it from your pocket and compared it to. Yep, exactly the same. Isn't this kind of plagiarism? Shrugging off the thought, you tuck the two cards away. It was nice seeing you be less gloomy though. Give him a small nudge and smile as he dips his head to hide a flush on his cheeks. Thanks for welcoming me back, Vince. It's no problem. As you're about to turn, he gently reaches out, his fingers brush against yours. Thanks for today, Adrian. I know I'm not the easiest of people to get along with, but you kept trying anyway. A lot of people would, so thank you for that. I had a good time. Me too, Vince. It's been nice to meet you. Would you, his voice trails off, cracking a little at the end. Would you maybe like to have my number? He averts his gaze and begins to nervously chew on his lip again. Unless you think that's stupid, which it kind of is. Why would you want my number over his met? That's weird. You chuckle at his nervousness and nod. Sure, Vince. His expression relaxes slightly, a hint of relief tugging the corner of his lips. He takes out his phone and quickly shares his number with you. It's a small gesture, but you can know it means more to him than he's letting on. I'll head off now. Jean will probably start freaking out if I'm not back before nighttime. Good night, Adrian. Good night, Vince. Smile at him as he walks off. glad he was able to come out of his shell by the end of the day. Upon entering your room, you waste no time shedding your clothes off by the entrance. A trail gets left behind you as you rush into the bathroom for a well-deserved shower. Do your usual night routine and get into your comfy set of pajamas. As you leave the bathroom, you gather your discarded clothing to clean when you get the chance. Hopefully there's a dry cleaner nearby. You hop into the bed and wrap yourself up with the large blue comforter. Turning to your side, you grab your phone and begin scrolling through your list of new contacts. I wonder if anyone's free to talk right now. Oh, let's see. Jean, Guy, Chris, Wyatt wins, and Kevin, Mom, Dad. I love how none of them has a picture and they're just like grayed out. I guess I could go with Jean.
Hello? Is everything alright?
Everything's fine. I just want to talk.
Okay, good. I'm actually glad you called. I wanted to ask how everything went with Vince.
I think it went well.
Really? Oh man, that's great news.
Can I ask why you wanted us to hang out together so badly?
I'm just worried he isn't getting out enough, you know? I mean, the guy barely has any friends other than me. I haven't seen him hang out with anyone else. I mean, the only person I've seen him speak with is Wyatt. But that's once in a blue moon.
You seem pretty passionate about...
Hell, I thought if maybe I pushed him a smidge, he'd break out of his shell, but... Hell, sorry, I got a bit carried away. This is just really important to me.
I get it, Jean. You're doing a wonderful thing taking care of him like this. But you just have to remember, Vince is his own person at the end of the day.
Huh. You're a smart one, you know that? Thanks for keeping me in check.
It's the least I can do for everything you've done for me since I've gotten here.
Don't even worry about that. It was my pleasure. Hell, I didn't check the time. I think I'll get out of your hair now. It's getting pretty late. You have yourself a great night. I'm glad you made it back safely. See you.
Good night, Jean. Feeling content, you plug your phone into the charger and gently shut your eyes, ready to doze off to sleep. I wonder how tomorrow will go. Thank you for playing the demo for Fred's View Beyond the Bay. We're grateful that you've given our game a chance and hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you'll consider supporting us on our social media accounts and join our Discord server for future updates and sneak peeks of our story and content going forward. We're also hosting a fundraising campaign over on our Ko-fi account if you'd like to help us make Fred's View Beyond the Bay a full game. Have a good day. So, that was a demo for Fred's View Beyond the Bay. I hope you enjoyed, and do feel free to support them if you can.